Tomorrow is the start of income tax season, so we're going to ease you into it with a look at what's new this year that might save you some money, honey, when we return. Good morning, Arizona.
We went from the most wonderful time of year, obviously the holidays, to, well, one of the most dreaded times of the year. We're talking about tax season. You should probably have received your W-2 by now, and the government, they are going to start accepting those tax forms tomorrow. So we have brought in CPA and tax advisor Bob Hockensmith. He is here to talk a little bit about what's new this season and what people need to know. It's already here, and this is like your prime time.
It is. It started actually 2 weeks ago, and it's just nonstop until April or the end of May, actually.
So we were talking a little bit about refunds, and you think people are actually going to get smaller refunds this year. Why is that?
They're getting bigger paychecks because less taxes are being taken out each payday. Therefore, their refunds at the end of the year will be smaller because of the bigger paychecks.
So how much are we thinking?
About $1,500 for a family. That's what you can expect, about a $1,500 refund for a family of 4. And
that obviously depends on, you know, income and all of that thing.
Right.
Are you finding that a lot of people are just taking the standard deduction and not itemizing because of the changes in recent years?
Absolutely. Most people are doing the standard deduction because it's $24,800 this year. It went up by $800 for a family of 4. So most people are going to go, I don't need to itemize because I don't have that big a mortgage, I don't have that much medical expenses, and they're going to go ahead and just take standard deduction.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the changes for 2020. And a lot of it has to do with kind of saving for the future and retirement.
Right.
And one of them, maybe you've got a 401k or an RIA, you have to start taking money out starting now in your early 70s?
Well, it used to be 70 years old. At 70 and a half, you had to start taking money out of your retirement accounts because the government wanted to get their taxes before you got too old. But now, with the new Secure Act, you can extend it to 72 and a half because people are living longer, so now you can wait until 72 and a half to start taking money out.
Okay, so if you're in a position where you don't need to take the money out, you can wait a couple years longer. Another thing that is a change is inherited accounts. So let's say my spouse inherited, or I inherited an account from my spouse, a 401k or something like that. What's the term limit on when you have to start taking money out?
So we used to have something called stretch IRAs, which allowed people who were not the children of the deceased or the spouse of the deceased, they are able to now wait until they want to take the money out. But if you're not the spouse or the child of a deceased, you have to take that inherited retirement money out within 10 years.
Within 10 years, so that's a change. Another thing is with kids and with those 529 accounts, which not only is college savings, but they've kind of broadened it out a little bit.
Right, so it's for grade school, middle school, high school, college, and now it's for apprenticeship programs. And you can now pay back up to $10,000 worth of student loans and use your 529, which is tax-free.
Okay, so those apprentice programs could be for a plumber, for anything like that. Mason. So you're
med student,
getting those options. And then finally, the refund. Let's say you've got a big refund coming. We're talking $5,000, $10,000. It's going to take a while to get here? Yeah,
the IRS is short-staffed like crazy right now. And because of that, they're worried about identity theft. So if your refund exceeds $5,000, it could actually take you more than 6 months to actually receive the refund. You'll get the refund and you'll get interest on it, but the IRS wants to validate your identity to make sure you're the right person.
So for planning purposes, though, if you think that money is coming, you need to be prepared. It might not get to your account until what, summertime?
That's right. That's exactly right. Some states actually, last year, some states actually issued IOUs to people who are having refunds. And they had to wait almost 9 months before they got the refunds. This year, the IRS is saying, keep your refunds small, because if it's too big, we're going to validate identity, which could take more than 6 months.
Okay, so we know obviously everybody's in a different, state as far as their finances, but what's your best piece of advice to anybody out there who's
ahead.
Filing?
Plan ahead. Taxes and law are not do-it-yourself projects. We tell people that all the time. But you have to plan ahead instead of waiting till the last minute to try and figure out what you can do.
Okay, and you've got a book there. It helps people out. You do really make things pretty simple. Tell me about your book.
I wrote this book a couple of years ago, and it's doing very, very well. It's actually called 52 Pickup, Weekly Tax Tips to Save You Money. I've updated this book now for the 2019 Secure Act. So it actually has all the brand new laws in there as well.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate you coming on. I'm sure we'll bring you on few days before tax season up. All those procrastinators out there.
Thanks,
Bob, it's always good to see you.